Perfect record, that of course, along with the technical draw in the last fight against Freddie Pendleton. Pendleton was down early to Spann and said, I'm not going to do that this time. In fact, on his trunks, on the sides of his trunks, it says, less fear.
And, you know, it's not that Freddie Pendleton is afraid of anybody. It's just that he almost felt like a little concentration was lacking.
Here are the knockout percentages. As you can see, Spann obviously with the greater of the two. Spann is the guy who can get you out of there with one punch.
Great power. We've seen it before here in the ESPN. They showed that win over Brian Payton, which at the time was really vaulted him higher up in the standings.
It's interesting that whenever you and I get a fighter who has a record that is less than sterling, a guy who's 12-9 or 13-10, that kind of record, we always point to Freddie Pendleton and say, this can be done. Don't rule this guy out.
Absolutely, because a lot of early losses can make a fighter's record not look great. But in Pendleton's case, as you see him boxing well earlier here against Spann, he got it together, and since he has gotten it together, his record has been excellent. Spann wants to cut the ring off on him, but has not been able to do it quite as effectively as he'd like here in round one. And it is a big ring, Barry.
Serves Pendleton well.
Look at that move by Pendleton. That is his whole game plan. Throw a right, or maybe a jab, then step to his left and use his hands to push Spann away from him. And that means if he's moving to his left, Spann can do almost nothing to him. You're going to see that move repeatedly. There it is, again. You'll see it over and over again from Pendleton. It's the way that he can survive in this fight and still score his punches.
Spann, of course, would prefer to have a brawl. That's a little warning from Randy Newman, I think, for holding on the break.
He walks into a left hand by Pendleton.
And go.
A lot of holding on the inside by Freddie Pendleton. Of course, part of it is they're worried about the head of Spann. Though that clash of heads before was clearly accidental, they feel like Spann comes in with his head down and makes the possibility of a cut more likely.
I think that's a valid point. He does have a tendency to do that. Good left hand, that staggered Pendleton. Well, Pendleton holds on, he is in trouble.
Deja vu all over again, huh?
And he best get on his bike for the rest of this round. Bell can't save you, remember. Another left hand, just a little short with that, and the first round is over. And Spann finishes it with a flourish.
In a round in which this man, Freddie Pendleton, might still have won the round. Now, here is where, after all that beautiful, beautiful boxing, he got hit. And why did he get hit? Because he was standing right in the way of that left. In other words, instead of moving to his left, look where he stayed there instead of coming to his left as he had throughout most of the round. And he got rocked by Tracy Spann. But excellent corner work by Tommy Brook, accentuating what he did right and saying, but keep your hands up when you're backing away like that. And he might have added also, make sure you move to the left, which of course he's doing.
Had to be a confidence builder for Tracy Spann, however.
Yeah, because after being outboxed kind of badly in most of that first round, he hurt it.
But Spann still has to stay to a game plan here. I want to get careless.
And the reason is because Freddie Pendleton has some pop in his punches. Now, Spann is using his arm to keep Pendleton there. In other words, he's going to literally push him to keep him in front of him.
That's the other thing you have to say about this fight. There's two excellent corners.
Very good work by both corners. Johnny Pearsall, former light heavyweight contender in the corner of Tracy Spann, and Tommy Brooks, who we saw there, was a fine amateur light heavyweight. Al Bonani also in Pendleton's corner.
There was a left hand. He was a little long with that, actually.
Pendleton is staying there for that left to hit him. He's fighting a different fight, Jerry, than he was in the first 2.5 minutes of this bout.
One thing he absolutely cannot do is brawl with Spann, and so far, that's what he's doing.
Not too many people can.
All right, you're tied. Break it up. Break it up.
And what Tommy Brooks said to Freddie Pendleton was, I need more than one punch at a time. You have to, there's a good solid counter right by Pendleton. by Span. See, look how he stepped to his right and pushed Pendleton in a position where he could punch him. There's a lot of subtle strategy going on in this bout. This is not just an exciting match, this is a thinking man's boxing match.
Good right hand by Pendleton.
And then he steps to the left to tie up Span.
Yeah, this is clearly two guys who went into this fight with a plan.
They both know what will work for them, and it's a question of one imposing the will on the other. Really, it's very much like a football game where the first 2 or 3 minutes you're trying to establish what you can do offensively and defensively. Nice shots by Pendleton.
All right, let him out there, let him out. Bring it up.
Span trying to work the body, that one a little low. Oh, big right by Pendleton.
It might have hurt Span.
Yes, I think it did. I don't even know if that's good for Pendleton to be in there doing that, but he did hurt Span with the right hand. You better not get too brave, though, Pendleton.
Pendleton right at the moment is quicker than Span.
The hand speed is important. It's a misnomer to think the only guy in there with a punch is Tracy Span.
So we come to the end of the second round, a considerably better round for Pendleton, and that's not to say that he didn't have a good round in the first round. So we are back and set to go to round 5 now, and it's an anybody's guess fight. Thought it was interesting, and Tommy Brooks in the corner of Pendleton saying, don't let the crowd influence you any way. In other words, don't do something that could be interpreted as careless.
And he reiterated many times, when you back out, keep your hands down. Or keep them up, I'm sorry, not down. Don't keep your hands down, keep them up.
Take a look at the numbers in the 4th round, and Span, who, as you mentioned, about 13 more, but didn't land that many.
No, although he did land a few more, and that, in my mind, got him the round, but he was not that effective with his punches. And Pendleton, with the last rally in the last minute, came back.
Barry Tompkins, Al Bernstein. We are at Harrah's in Atlantic City. We're watching the IBF Lightweight Championship. Tracy Span in the white trunks, Freddie Pendleton in the spangled trunks. And a very close fight. Hard to pick a winner right now.
Well, as it was before the match, take a look at my card. Pendleton winning, but boy, he's getting whacked now.
He got hurt with the left hand. He might have gotten thumbed in the right eye. Let's see.
He did.
I don't think he can see right now out of that eye, and he's probably going to get on his bike, and Span, of course, is going to just chase him.
This is where the speed of Pendleton on the sides of the ring could benefit him a little bit. And he'll hold on for dear life. Now, you see the right eye, he's squinting out of it.
He's still having a little bit of trouble with it. He's just trying to stay out of harm's way.
You can see now, I think the eye's clearing up a little bit, so Freddie is starting to stop for a moment and see if he can land some counter shots to keep Span off him. This is where they want Span to work if he can, but Pendleton did a pretty good job of making that difficult.
Combination by Span, but he was lunging. He wasn't really set down on those punches.
The body work that Pearsall's been begging for Span to do. See, when he starts out to the body, he can land to the head, but when he only throws to the head, Pendleton will slip to a lot of those punches.
Right hand by Span, landed up behind the ear.
This is the tenor of the fight that Pearsall and Span want.
Left hand by Pendleton.
Span is generally doing a better job of slipping those counter punches now.
Coming to the end of the 5th round, better round for Tracy Span. It continues to be a fight that really, for all intent, could go either way. We'll be back.
Yeah, and here it is. Well, the thumb landed clearly in the eye of Freddie Pendleton. No question about that. It wasn't so much the force of the punch. You'll see it here from even a better angle, yes. And you see right away, Freddie Pendleton wincing.
And it is still bothering him a little bit, although it doesn't appear to, when he stands up, it doesn't appear to bother him, but when he was in the corner, looked like he was having some troubles with it.
Also, we don't know, as you said, his vision could be affected in many ways.
He said that he's having trouble seeing on it. In the 5th round, you can see Pendleton literally took the round off, and he took it off for a reason.
Yeah, he was just trying to survive after being thumbed in the eye. You know, both men, in many ways, don't look as quick and as sharp as you would like them to be. Not they have fought badly, but Spann is lunging a little bit, and Freddie Pendleton not quite as quick a feet and hand as we're used to seeing from him. Part of that, of course, is the competition they're facing.
Now, Spann gets his man in there, and I know that's where Johnny Pearsall wants him to work, and he's really not doing anything. He's just laying in there.
No, his timing is not great. Look at the lunging of Tracy Spann.
On your card, it's a 1-point fight.
Very close. I've given Spann the last 2 rounds. I've given the first 3 to Pendleton. See, that's kind of meaningless body work by Spann. And Randy Newman taking kind of a laissez-faire attitude now, letting them be on the inside. And I don't know if he's not going to have to get in and break them a little bit more to make them fight, because they're doing a lot of holding with them. Freddie Pendleton looking for that one shot, the lead right hand, or the counter right, and not doing much else. And this is what they want from Spann. Now he's working, throwing good right hooks. The sharp punching we saw from Pendleton early is gone. Yeah. Randy Newman's saying break, but he's going to have to get in there, I think. And Randy's a very cagey referee, so he knows he has to do good rights by Pendleton.
But they are being caught in large part of the gloves of Spann.
I think the first one where they got there. Holding on the inside by both men than you might expect. You expect a little bit more from Pendleton. Ali shuffled by Pendleton, but that isn't going to get you any points. No. Wisher Ali, that is. I think that shuffle might have won him 3 fights.
Yeah, but he also used to throw about half the punches of it, too.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a right hand by Pendleton. That was a good, clean shot. He missed with that one.
He was getting there with that punch from time to time, like that.
Sharp punch, straight right hand. Into the 6th round, and Pendleton likely did enough to win that round. We'll be back.
We talked about the counter right of Freddie Pendleton. There's one that landed and had an impact on Tracy Spann.
So this is round 7. We're going 12. Heading toward that later point in the fight, which you figured is to Pendleton's advantage.
Originally, I thought it was. We'll see if it keeps that way. There you see the punches in the 6th round. Pendleton doing better. His punches are a little sharper, I think, right now than Tracy Spann's. But Spann with that power can always turn things around.
Spann's missing and not missing close.
I think Freddie Pendleton is starting to get a certain kind of confidence here, but one that is dangerous. For instance, after the round last time, he looked down at us and he was kind of mugging a little bit, and you see him kind of holding Spann, looking out in space. That's the kind of confidence that could make you lose your concentration. I don't know if it will. See, look at he's sticking his tongue out. I mean, he may be trying to psych Tracy Spann, but it's been dangerous against Spann because he can punch. Seeing what it's making, Pendleton's kind of standing there in front of him, so if Spann can land one of those big power shots.
Combination by Pendleton.
His hand speed is superior to Tracy Spann.
And he's providing an elusive target. He's one of the preliminary fight was talking about a guy who throws his hand out there and leaves it out there. Well, no such animal for Freddie Pendleton. And when he throws a punch, he's just not there for a counter punch.
You can see Spann trying to hold him to keep him in front of him, keep Pendleton in front of him where he can punch him. You know, Randy Newman's a big man, a former heavyweight boxer. He may have to get more physical with these fighters. Good right by Pendleton to make sure that they don't hold all the time. Now Pendleton is fighting Spann's fight right now, but getting away with it and doing pretty well.
Pendleton's just punching sharper.
Yes, and he's right there where Spann should be doing better work. The power of Pendleton is deceptive. Just ask Roger Mayweather, he'll tell you. He got whacked out by Pendleton, as have others like Sammy Fuentes and the like.
Spann trying to work inside again as we head to the end of the 7th round, and this is another effective round for Freddie Pendleton. And I can't help but wonder if there might have a little bit of frustration setting in on the part of Tracy Spann.
This is your show. Now you work too hard for this, baby, okay? Come on, let's take this thing home.
Sit right back on after you accommodate, sit right.
Time to go.
All right, you...
We start the 8th round. This is a 12-round fight for the IBF Lightweight Championship of the world.
You know what was great about that corner work? It was half specific advice and half inspiration, and that's about what you want in a big fight like this.
On your card, after 7 rounds, a decided edge right now for Pendleton, and I don't know that the judges could argue with that.
Well, I have it 5-2 for Pendleton, and there might be some difference of opinion, but Freddie has, I think you can feel it in Spann's corner too, the way Pearsall's talking, that they know their man might be behind here.
Well, I alluded at the end of the last round, a little bit of frustration, perhaps, on the part of Tracy Spann. What's your feeling about that?
I think that to some degree that's true. He's not quite sure how to get to Pendleton. He hurt him in the 1st round. Hasn't been able to hurt him too badly since then. Tracy's timing doesn't look quite what it should be and what it has been. He's just a little bit off here, so he's not landing well. And now Pendleton's just almost able to do what he wants. You know, this fight, I have to say, Ron Katz, the matchmaker here, was mentioning that in a certain way, this looks a little bit like the Hagler-Leonard fight, in which Hagler, who's also southpaw, was off in his timing, and it really hurt him against Leonard.
But I think you can make a case either way in that fight. I think Leonard stole that fight. I don't think you can say Freddie Pendleton.
No, that was a much closer fight, but absolutely, Pendleton in this case doing a much more definitive job than, let's say, Leonard was able to do against Hagler. It was very close. But the timing factor of Spann looks a little bit like Hagler. Of course, Marvin Hagler was a great fighter. Tracy Spann's a good fighter, so Hagler was able to work through his problem to some degree during that fight.
And also, just to elaborate on that point, I think the game plan that Marvin Hagler went in with was wrong. I'm not sure the game plan that Tracy Spann went in with is wrong. It's just the execution that's wrong.
Yeah, precisely, yeah. He just can't quite get it done. Marvin wasted a few rounds fighting right-handed.
Full takedown. Wrong sport.
Let me tell you something. Randy Newman's giving a warning to Pendleton, and maybe rightfully so. Pendleton looks shocked, but I got to tell you something. If I'm Freddie Pendleton, that's exactly the kind of stuff I want to do at this point in the fight to Tracy Spann, because guess what? I want to show him you're not the roughest, toughest customer in town. I am, pal.
Except that Freddie Pendleton said, I didn't do that.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you say that? Psychologically now, Freddie Pendleton's in control. That could change at any time because Spann has power. But those punches of Spann don't have a lot on it. Pendleton hasn't exactly been a whirlwind in this round either.
Come to the end of the 8th round, really an uneventful round, and this was a question of who lost it, not who won it. Huge pep talk by Johnny Pearsall in the corner of Tracy Spann with good reason now.
Yeah, because they think Spann is behind in this bout. He is not working as hard as he needs to work. Our punch profile tells us that Spann's averaging around 58 punches a round, and there you see he's threw 51 in the last one. Normally he is up around 80 or 90. Pendleton's accuracy level so much better in the last round, even though he threw fewer. They need more punches on Spann, and they also need more power punches.
Let go of his head. Let go of his head. Slow down there, Gracie.
I got to tell you something. Randy Newman really needs, I think, to get in there, and I'm not trying to be real critical of him. It's just that I really think that he would enhance this bout if he could get in there and break them more often. A lot of holding going.
And he usually is a referee who does do that.
Absolutely. That's why it's a little uncharacteristic in a way.
And in your card, it's getting to be more and more lopsided for Pendleton. In fact, if it's going to be a decision and there are no knockdowns, Spann's got to win everything from here on.
Well, it would look like it to me, and that was kind of what Johnny Pearsall said. He said, you got 9, 10, 11, 12 to get something done here. Pendleton better be careful that with all this movement, as you pointed out earlier, he's going to have to make sure he throws enough punches.
There might be a little frustration setting in Tracy Spann, however. He's just not able to do what he wants to do. A little wilder than he was.
His offense has been not very good here in the last 3 or 4 rounds. Doesn't look like a guy that's going for a big knockout punch. Now there, he used his head against Pendleton. But he is not getting leverage, Spann is not his punches. Here's the first right hook he threw with conviction for a while. See, nothing going on for Spann inside. Now Pendleton's not doing much either, but Spann's the guy that's behind. What a huge right by Pendleton, but Spann doesn't do much. Freddie keeps looking down here at us. He's looking at everywhere.
Pendleton got in with a very short right hand, right to the chin, too.
You can feel Pendleton looking for that right again.
There it was one to the top of the head. Good one right there.
Let him out.
Well, these are the later rounds, and Pendleton now is really starting to take clear control of this.
Again, he lands the right. He can land that punch almost when he wants now. His mission is to do it without getting hit by something big by Spann, and so far he's accomplishing it. I'll tell you right at the end here, Pendleton might have stolen this round.
End of round 9, and now Spann opens Pendleton up and might have hurt him right at the end of the round. We'll be back.
Tracy Spann, big moment for him, one of his best in the last few rounds, had good left hand. But Freddie Pendleton came back with shots right after that.
And Freddie Pendleton saying to Johnny Pearsall, I feel fine, I'm not tired, I got a lot left, and he starts this 10th round like he does.
Well, if he does, this is the time for him to get it going.
Yeah, the 9th round, though, Spann throwing 14 more punches than he did in the 8th round. Didn't land a lot more, though.
Toward the end, Pendleton landed some good shots. They only threw 15 jabs between them in round 9, so jab, not a punch that's been used a lot. Freddie Pendleton has been in against a veritable who's who of the lightweight and sometimes junior welterweight division. Numerous ex-champions like Razai Bramble, Fernell Whitaker. Been in with the likes of Sammy Fuentes, John Montes, who he lost to, Roger Mayweather. The list goes on, Frankie Rand, the list goes on and on. The quality of his opposition, even early in his career, was astonishing.
Left hand by Pendleton just grazed the eyebrow of Tracy Spann.
Pendleton using his jab.
It just seems to have Spann off balance just enough.
Yeah, and just enough is exactly the phrase. I'll tell you what, though, Freddie Pendleton is doing just little enough to not make sure he absolutely is going to win this fight. You know, we have him ahead. There's the jab of Pendleton. He's able to land that now, and it sets up the right hand. On the outside, Spann's going to have a hard time winning here. He's in the wrong posture. Going backwards is definitely not Spann's game.
Now Pendleton on his bike here.
Kind of an uneventful 10th round here.
Yeah. So was the 8th, actually. A little action in the 9th. Pendleton is short with that right hand.
Pendleton's in his two-hand defense mode, really, almost trying to just do enough to maybe sneak by in the round and not get in trouble and get knocked out.
There's a right hand, and that has Spann holding on.
On the outside, Spann will get hit with shots like that. There's another one.
And push to it.
A lot of lunging, and you see Pendleton looking for the right again. Those few shots could have been enough to tip the round for Pendleton.
In which case it would be a perfectly executed round for him. Didn't use a lot of himself up.
And there he lands with a good left hook. Well, he may well have taken this round with that last flurry.
I'm going to listen to Johnny Pearsall, and I'm sure this is going to be a frenetic corner. Let's listen.
You want this championship? You got to go out there and fight. You out there shadow boxing. You got to get down, Tracy, and fight. You're not fighting. You're out there stalling for time, kid. Come on. You want to be champion? You got to earn it.
Well, that's the stuff movies are made of.
It really is. Back to the keys to victory. For Spann, he's not been able to sustain his effort. He has ignored the body more than they wanted to. Pendleton has countered well. Later has been better for him, hasn't it? So he's followed his keys better. Normally, you'd listen to a corner. Well, we take a look at Pendleton landing some of those counter right hands. There it is. Well, actually, a right hand that wasn't a counter right hand. Normally, you'd hear Johnny Pearsall in the corner like that. You'd say, come on, where's the technical advice? But guess what? He's done that with Tracy Spann. Tracy Spann knows what to do. Johnny Pearsall is doing the only thing he can do right now, which is motivate his man to get in there and just flat out go after it.
There just comes a time that you stop being a tactician and start being a cheerleader. And here's what happened in the last round. And look at Spann's production way, way down.
Yeah, and that's what Pearsall's talking about. You got to get in and dig and work. You're a power puncher, Tracy Spann. That's what he's essentially telling him. You've got to just throw caution to the wind and get in there and make something happen.
But Tracy Spann is just going to have to start doing some business. On your card, he's going to have to knock him out.
I've got Pendleton ahead by 4 points. And obviously only 2 left, so knockdowns at least are essential. There's a right hook by Spann. I think part of it is that Pendleton has made him respect his power, Barry.
Yeah, there's a right hook by Spann and a better counter right by Pendleton.
Hey, you're tired, don't hit him anymore. Come on.
Pendleton is just taking control of the fight.
Tracy Spann has never been past the 10th round. This is the first time he has been there. And for Freddie Pendleton, he has been 12 rounds on 3 different occasions. So he's more used to this 12-round limit than Tracy Spann.
Although it isn't to say that Spann really looks particularly tired. He probably looks a little less fresh than Pendleton does, but still have to respect his power. I think Pendleton is just taking the tempo of the fight all his way.
He really has. He's been a little bit smarter in the execution of his game plan, a little bit quicker with his hands. And Spann's power, which we saw very much in the first round, has not been able to stay with him throughout this fight. He hasn't been setting down his punches as much as he would like. Nice little counter left hook by Pendleton. Pendleton said he learned in the first fight. He said, I went down, I was hurt for a moment. He said, but I learned the things I could do effectively against Spann, and it would look like they were lessons well learned.
And oddly enough, he got hurt in the first round this time, too. Good body shot, came up with a combination.
Now, Freddie Pendleton doesn't have the greatest uppercut in the world. It's a punch that works real well against Spann. There you saw him throw it.
He just has Spann completely frustrated right now. And Spann's just following him around the ring and pawing with his punches.
And Pendleton now talking to Spann, doing the alley shuffle the whole bit. And, you know, normally you might say, well, it's a little hot dog. You know what? Freddie Pendleton's earned the right to do that after the ups and downs he's had in his career. He might want to enjoy this moment a little bit, but he better be careful he doesn't enjoy it too much.
So we come to the end of the 11th round, and Tracy Spann will have 3 minutes to do some business.
I want that beautiful game. Punish him.
And actually a little cheerleading in Freddie Pendleton's corner, too.
Look at him before you go out.
That was as animated as Tommy Brooks has been throughout the fight.
It's interesting.
Get up, let's go.
Now, what Johnny Pearsall did say to him, and this was of a technical nature, bend your knees and set down your punches. But, of course, Tracy Spann really knows that. Just an extra reminder. Pearsall.
In the 11th round, Spann threw more punches, but just was missing badly, while Pendleton, a little more economical, but he landed a lot more.
And those punches he landed were clear, sharp punches, Pendleton. And I think when they look back on this bout, the lack of body work by Spann is just going to really come back to haunt him. Pendleton has matched him strength-wise in the inside. He's just strong as Spann.
Let me ask you another thing, too. Spann, for the better part of the fight, like he is right now, is just squared up in front of Pendleton.
Yeah.
And it seems like if he gave more angles, he might be a little bit less of a target.
You're absolutely right, Gary. That's always been a problem for Tracy Spann, but usually he'll get to a guy and get him out. He didn't against Paez, and that cost him the fight.
And on your card, this is not a surprise. Spann, of course, would have to knock out Pendleton to win the fight. Now, we have to say, we have seen, once again, some strange numbers being put up on the part of the officials here.
Yeah, tonight's not been one of their better nights, you have to say.
And a reminder that coming up after we get away, which will be soon, SportsCenter, a lot of sports news, of course. A couple of football games in the NFL, and the finalists have been decided in each conference now. Tell you all about that. Duke coming up on the short end for the first time. No major undefeateds that I can think of off the top of my head.
And I think that score was put up incorrectly. It's 107-102, so I have a 5-point spread.
Fact remains, Spann would have to knock out Pendleton to win the fight.
Yeah, and it's important to note because if we see scores that indicate anything less than a 3 or 4 point spread for Freddie Pendleton, then that's not even close to being correct. He has done what he has to do here. There's an example of it.
Excellent.
He has countered well. He has been sharp. Oh my, he hurt Spann.
He hurt him badly, and Spann is in big trouble, and he's got a long way to go, and it won't take much for Spann to go down. He'll only take one more punch, and there's that punch. Randy Newman looking closely here. Spann finally gets off the ropes. Still a long way to go.
And you know what's interesting? Pendleton is not being reckless even now. You understand? Even a hurt Tracy Spann, you don't want to give him a chance to take your title dreams away. Because this has punctuated this win.
Yeah, Spann is still on really wobbly legs here, even with 15 seconds to go in the fight.
But you know what? I'll tell you what, in the back of his mind, Freddie Pendleton would love to say, I don't even want the judges to think about scoring this fight against him.
And Spann is going to finish the fight on very wobbly legs. It's all over, and Freddie Pendleton really put an exclamation point on it. Excellent fight, excellent game plan, excellent execution by Freddie Pendleton. Now we'll see if the judges agree. We'll be back. All right, let's get up to Michael Buffer and get the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Harrah's Atlantic City, we go to the scorecards. Gene Williams scores the bout 117-111. Gary Merritt has it the same way, 117-111. And Rick May scores it 116-112 for the winner, who is now the brand new IBF lightweight champion of the world, Fearless Freddie Pendleton.